So welcome back onto the mat. Tonight is going to be a gentle yoga flow, feel good flow for you to just kind of wind down through your night, wind down through your day. We're going to start to open into those tight spaces of hips. Some hip mobility work to improve your flexibility. And then we're going to guide into meditation to round out the class. So you'll see that I have blocks towards the top of my mat. This is my top of my mat. This is the back of my mat, so you can see the side view. I have the blanket here. I'm going to place it underneath my knees and have it as an additional support for my body tonight. So we're going to start in child's pose. So you bring the knees just slightly apart so they're at hip width. Go ahead and just lower and round your belly down onto your thighs. Stretch your hands forward. Roll your forehead down towards the mat. Just close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths here. Allow your mind to settle in. Allow your body to softly release. Extending your hands towards the top of your mat. Stretching your low back and hip space towards your heels. Just breathe in. Breathe out. Okay. Softly round your back, come forward into your hands and knees. Your hands are underneath the shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips. So you're going to place the hands and your knees at that shoulder hip width. Begin to softly gaze down right between your hands. Draw your belly in towards your navel, slightly activating through your core. And let's gently breathe in, lift the tailbone up, lift your chin away from your chest, and then softly press the hands away from the floor as you start to round into your back. Take your breath in to guide your heart space forward. As you exhale, round into your back. Take it into your next breath. Float the heart space forward. Let this feel good. And then gently release, chin to your chest. Repeat this motion at your own pace. As your body begins to find movement, feel free to start to roll into your hips, roll into the upper body, taking any movement on all fours to awaken your wrists, your shoulders, your knee and hip joints. Once that feels good, come back onto all fours. And at this point, I want you to just spread the hands wide, fingertips wide, energizing through your entire palm. We're going to tuck your toes in. Micro bend the knees to start. Your first down dog, we're going to lift back and just gently pedal into the feet one by one. Maintain a steady, deep breath here. And then stretch your heels down towards the mat. Gently push the upper body away from your wrist. Elongate into upper low back as you're gazing over towards your feet. Two more breaths here. And then gently lower your knees down. Let the knees come a little wider this time, allowing your big toes to touch. I want you to drop the hips back down towards your heels. And now extended child's pose. So your belly should come down right between your inner thighs. Knees open to the left and right side of your mat. And take a moment here just to deepen into your low back while the hips softly open. Allow your hips to ground down towards your heels. Move in deeper into the low back. We're just going to walk your hands over to the left side of your mat. And then bring your head down for a few more breaths. And gently bring the hands back over to the center. Let's walk over to the right. And then release. Walk the hands all the way back over to the center. Use this last time. Keep pushing the hips back towards your heels. Elongate the fingertips forward for 3, 2, 1. Lift your upper body up. Walk the hands in. Guide the knees back underneath the hip joints. Just take a few cat and cows here just to soften into the low and upper back. And tuck your toes, let it feel good. And then return back to a neutral tabletop. Curl your toes in. Second down dog. Let's go ahead and rise the hips high. Keep on your toes this time. Let the heels lift as high as they can. Stay on your tippy toes. Spread the hands at that shoulder width. And I can notice most of my body weight might be leaning more towards my hands. So I'm going to push and keep elongating my upper body back towards the hips, holding my head right between the upper arms, staying high onto my toes. And then as I take my exhale, gently start to stretch the heels down, maintaining deep, nourishing breaths here. Gonna do that 2 more times. We're gonna inhale, rise the heels nice and high. So you can push your body back towards the hips again, flow the belly towards your upper thigh. And then exhale, stretch your heels down. Gonna do that 1 more time. So if you need to adjust your handstands, you can. Let's go ahead and rise on the inhale. Push the upper body back. Feel the belly move towards your thighs. And then exhale, stretch the heels down. Ooh, 3, 2, 1. Rock the hips left and right. Walk the hands back towards your toes. Micro bend the knees if you need to. And just alleviate that body weight and wrist space by taking the hands towards your opposite elbows. Drop the chin down to your chest. And just relax here. And sway the body left and right. And then let the weight of your arms drape down towards the mat like a rag doll. Rolling your head space and neck space left and right. And as that feels good, just softly micro bend into your knees. Place the hands onto the mat and crawl back into your down dog here. Take your time, starting to situate yourself into a strong, grounded down dog. Hands and feet at shoulder hip width. Micro bend the knees if you need to. Then let's go ahead and just lift the right leg up towards the sky. Take a moment just to pivot and bend your right knee. Rotate that right hip up towards the ceiling. Feel that right hip space start to open up. For 3, 2, 1. I just want you to circle into this right hip. Lubricate into that right hip joint. And then relax, soften the right foot down. We're going to repeat that on the left side. So I'm going to pick up my left leg. I'm bending my left knee so I can rotate my left foot over to the right side, letting my left hip rotate up towards the ceiling. Perhaps you're gazing towards that left armpit. There you go. Good. And we're going to circle that left hip out. And then drop the left foot down. Let the upper body rest for a moment. Knees down to the mat. Relax the hands. Third variation of child's pose. Hands to your feet. Head down towards the floor. Stretch the left hand towards the top of your mat. Elongate into the upper back. Stretch the right hand forward. And let's roll up, coming back onto hands and knees. Tuck your toes in, down dog. Let's roll up, fall back. Continue to lengthen into the full back body here. And then we're going to pick up that right leg. Lift the left heel high. From here, all you want to do, shift the shoulders over the wrist, bend the right knee up towards your chest so you can step that right foot right between your hands. At this time, go ahead, adjust that right heel underneath the right knee. If you need to, go ahead and shimmy that left toe back. So when you bend through that right knee, you can start to feel the beautiful opening space of the left front hip. Now, as you can see, I'm piping up onto my fingertips. I have short arms. So because of that, I tend to always have blocks available to me so I can have additional support. So you can always use your blocks or without your blocks. If you don't have blocks at home, my makeshift recommendation is books. So take a moment here, align the hands or blocks underneath your shoulders. Continue to bend through that right knee. Let that front left hip open up for another 3, 2, 1. Let the left knee drop behind the left hip. So you'll notice that my blanket is supporting my left knee joint. Great idea for sensitive knees. Great idea if your mat is super thin. This way you're not pressing it down straight into concrete or the floor. Just going to take a moment here. Just bend through the right knee again. Let the left hip sink a little deeper. Anchor that body down. Okay. As the lower body starts to open up, let's go ahead and just rise the hands up onto that right thigh. Take this time. You'll notice that my belly is close to my right thigh. So just continue to bend through the right knee. Lean your upper body down. Use your hands and upper body to anchor yourself down first. Once you have that, peel the belly away from the right thigh. Lift and push up, lengthen into your spine. Option 1, you're going to stay here. Option 2, just hands into prayer, finding balance, finding your breath. If you have balance and you're ready, perhaps keep the hands where they are, be close to your heart space, and just lift your gaze up. Deepen into the breath for 3, 2, 1. Release the hands back down towards the mat or your blocks. And then very gently flex the right foot. And then flow, shift the hips back towards the back of your mat. If you can't straighten out the right leg without moving your hands, go ahead and walk your hands or blocks back. Take this time to feel the extension of your hips, pulling back towards the back wall. Feel your heart space lifting forward towards the top of your mat, elongating your spine first. And then on that exhale, we bend the elbows. Let the chin meet your chest so you're rounding through the entire spine. And release, step the right foot forward, bend through the right knee. At this time, if you use your blocks, start to set it out to the side. You're going to bring it back onto the hands, onto the mat, to only lift the left knee. Bring the left hand underneath the left shoulder, and I'm going to open myself over to the right, reaching my right hand up towards the ceiling. Hold it here for 3, for 2, for 1. Lower the right hand down. Slowly shift the right leg all the way back. And then as you start to stretch the right leg back, keep the right knee bent. You're going to rotate the right hip up, what we just practiced before. And we're circling out the right hip. Let's lower the right foot down. Come into a down dog. We're going to work into the other side. So let's take it up to the left leg. Right heel high, Shift the shoulders over the wrist. Let the left knee bend towards your chest, and then step the left foot forward right between your hands. At this point, adjust the left heel underneath the left knee. Shimmy your right toe back if you need to. Bend through the left knee, let the hip space sink just enough to open the front hip flexor. Now option 1, stay where you are. Option 2, reach for your blocks. Bring it underneath your shoulders. Take it here for another 3, 2, 1. Let the right knee rest down towards the mat or your blanket. Use this opportunity to bend through the left knee again so you can really work that right hip a little lower. Savor a breath or two. As the lower right hip starts to open up, let's go ahead and rise up onto the left leg. Use our hands to bend through the left knee, pressing and bending through, letting that right hip sink a little deeper. And my belly's touching my left thigh, and I'm okay with that right now, just because I'm letting it sink in, open up, anchor itself down. And once I feel balance, then I'm gonna peel my belly off my left thigh, lengthen through the crown of my head. I can stay here, or you can bring your hands to your heart center. If you like, you can just softly gaze up. Focus your gaze at one point, wherever you are. Deepen that breath in. Energize your breath out. And then release. Hands back onto your blocks or your mat. Flex into the left foot. Slow, slow, start to soften, release, stretch that left hip, right hip all the way back. Walk your hands back with you if you need to help you straighten out that left leg. And never rush into stretching into that left hamstring. Just really feel your left foot flexing up, the left toes flexing towards your upper body. The extension of your chest gliding forward between your arms, lengthen your spine, and then exhale, let's fold down. Imagine that you want to carry that forehead towards the left knee, deeply rounding through the back of your neck, creating a C shape through your spine. Okay. And release, step the left foot forward, bend into that left knee. Let's go ahead and set the blocks out to the side if you use any support today. And let's go ahead and lift the right knee up. Keep your hips low. You're still opening into your hips. The only thing that's going to be changing is you're going to ground your right hand underneath that right shoulder. Pivot and twist over to the left. Open that left arm up towards the sky. Hold it here for 3, for 2, for 1. We're going to lower the left hand down. Gently pivot the left leg all the way back. I'm still bending my left knee. So by the time I reach all the way back, I'm going to rotate my left hip up, open into my left hip, and then circle it up. And then soften the left foot down, taking a few petals just to continue warming up and opening into my full body here. Let's go ahead and just lower the knees down. Rise up. and fall back into your child's pose. Gently come back onto your hands and knees. We're going to move into our second set of hip opening. It's going to have you guide back into down dog. Take your time whenever we're making these transitions. The whole idea of this practice is letting your body feel good by opening one stage at a time. We're going to begin on the right side. This time I want you to pick up the right leg, stretch it all the way back, flex the left heel. I want you to bring that right knee towards your right tricep as you shift forward towards the plank. This way you can take the right foot and move it to the outside of your right hand. Good. My hands are underneath my shoulders. At this point, I'm looking down at my right foot. Instead of having a point forward, I'm just going to rotate it slightly to the right. This way I can rotate my right knee away from my upper arm and then lower my left knee down. You're going to feel this more of external rotation into that right hip. You're going to help yourself keep this rotation strong. So you're going to keep the left hand where it is. Use your right hand, bring it onto that right knee, and rotate. Using your right hand, rotate the right knee away from your chest, slightly turning your body over to the right. Take a few breaths just to acclimate that external rotation. So you can release the right hand for a moment, keep the right knee still open, and then return the right hand back down. Now, option one, you can stay on your hands, continue to lower that left hip down to keep opening into your hips. Option two, if you want to come down to the forearms, you can come down straight onto the mat, letting the elbows sit underneath your shoulders. If you have blocks with you, you can take the blocks and level them at the height that you like, and then draw the forearms down onto your blocks. Whatever option you take at this moment, look down right between your arms. Close your eyes. And let's savor a few deep breaths here. Take 2 more deep breaths. And go ahead and just walk the hands back onto your mat. You're going to adjust your blocks out to the side. Put the hands underneath the shoulders. Tuck into that left toe. Rise the left knee up. So this is a little different. We're not going to step back. We're going to step forward. Feel that left step. And I'm going to bring the left foot to the outside of your left hand. So if you need to walk the left foot up to help you, you can. You can step, crawl, or hop that left foot forward. And I'm going to bring the left foot to the outside of my left hand. And at this time, go ahead and just pivot the heels back, toes forward, a wide-legged stance. And I just want you to just swing your upper body down, no weight to your hands. So draw the hands to opposite forms and just hang forward. One more breath here. And then just gently start to rise up. Micro bend your knees, and if you need to, just let the hands touch onto the mat underneath your shoulders. Soften your gaze, lift forward, halfway left. And I want you to bring that right hand right underneath the center of your chest on your mat. And we're just going to turn over to the left for a soft twist, rising the left. And then lower the left hand down where the right hand is. Spin up over to the right. Let it feel good. And then lower the right hand down. Very slowly, bring the heels in, let the toes roll out. Coming back to where we started when we stepped forward. You're just gonna micro bend into your knees. Walk the hands back underneath your shoulders. And this time we're gonna go on to the other side. So you're gonna take the right foot and take it all the way to the back of your mat. There you go. So I'm gonna adjust my hands underneath my shoulders, shimmy my left toe slightly forward. So at this point, your left toe should be rotated to the left corner. And you're gonna gently lower the right knee down. We're gonna open up the external rotation to the left side. So you're seeing my back, a different angle. My right hand's underneath my right shoulder. I'm going to bring my left hand onto my left knee, turn and twist my body to the left. Use my left palm, rotate my left knee away from my chest. Now at this point, we're familiar with the opening. We're opening external rotation to the left hip as we're dropping that right hip down for the front hip flexor. At some point, the longer you're here, you might start to feel some weight bearing into that right wrist. So if you want to look at me, you can. Notice how I'm shrugging my right shoulder up to my right ear. I'm probably feeling too much body weight on my right wrist because I'm deactivating my right shoulder and I'm shifting all my body weight down. So to alleviate that body weight, what I do is I push my right hand away from the floor, elongate my right ear up, drop my right shoulder away from my right ear. So I'm creating all this space in my right side of my neck space. This alleviates body weight down, shifts the energy up towards your upper body to hold yourself up. And let's go ahead and return that left hand back down to center. So at this point, we're going to continue to anchor and open up our body. So if you're open to staying on your hands, you can. If you want to stay on your hands and they're starting to get tired to the wrist, your other modification is to come up onto your fist like this. Option 2, if you have blocks, go ahead and lower yourself down onto your blocks. For option 3, you're going to set the blocks aside and straight come down onto your forearms. The moment you decide to come onto your forearms, your elbows have to be underneath your shoulders for alignment. And take a few breaths. We're just taking our practice today to open our hips in 3 different phases. So right now we're in the second phase, the third phase. I'm going to show you some other variations and another common hip opener. All right, let's go ahead and rise up onto your hands, set the blocks out to the side. With your hands underneath your shoulders this time, we are going to step forward again. So prep that right knee up and just really feel this rock. If you want to just stay here, kind of rock yourself forward and back. You want to feel your body weight shift forward towards the hand, step or walk that right foot over to the outside of your right hand. At this point, we're going to change it up. So I want you to heel toe your feet. So the heels rotate in underneath your hips. Your toes are going to rotate out. Now we're going to come into Malasana Pose. So you're going to just start to squat your hips down, scooping your hips down towards the mat. Now, if you can't sit your hips down like this, you have tight hips or tight knees. If you have blocks, if you have books, all you're going to do is you're going to wedge it underneath your buttocks, set it at the height you need to, and you're going to sit yourself onto the block like so. At this point, you're still doing Malasana, you're just having an extra support system. Your knees and your toes are open wide. You're going to use your outer arms to help you come into Malasana. So instead of lengthening up high right now like I am, I'm just going to round my spine, let my outer arms hook into my inner thighs, bring my hands into prayer. At this point, I'm going to gently let the hands come down towards my chest, lengthen my spine, use my elbows and outer arms to push my knees left and right to help it create external rotation. Malasana Pose, 5 breaths. Hi. Open your eyes. Just relax your hands for a moment. If you use a block like I did, we're just going to remove the block out back to the side. Let the hands come back onto the mat. Take your time. You're going to just softly roll the hips up. Micro bend the knees, and you're just going to heel toe your feet at hip width, toes pointing forward, heels pointing back. And let's come down for your forward fold, draping your head down. Bring your hands right behind your thighs, or you can grab onto your calves. And then very gently, just start to hug the belly to your thighs, roll the head towards your knees. And micro bend into your knees ever so slightly, just enough so you can bring your hands onto your shin. Halfway lift your chest forward. And just exhale, start to round down one more time. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, open your heart space forward, look up. And then exhale, roll down. Last one. Take a breath in, Way left. Exhale, fold forward. Letting your knees bend, so you can lower your hands down onto the mat. Downward facing dog. Let's step the right foot back, left foot back. Gently pedal into the feet if you like. Or just stretch into down dog to realign your whole body here. For our last hip opening series, single pigeon pose. Let's take the right leg back. Left heel high. You're just going to bend your right knee. This time, just move the right knee behind your right wrist. Now, this time, my left leg is still up, so I can move my right foot over to the left side of my mat, scooching my left leg all the way back. My hair is a hot mess right now, but it's okay. So at this point, my right foot's close to my left hip, and I want to keep it that way for a softer opening today. But if you like to move the right foot away from your left hip, you can, and you can just scooch the right foot up. So I'm going to change my positioning so you can kind of see what it looks like from the forefront. So when we're coming forward, typically our right foot's closer to left hip. This is a softer opening. Your hands are here to support you so you can kind of roll that left and right, kind of feel out and square out the hip space. If you want to go deeper, you can just walk the right foot just slightly away from the hip space, and you'll know that the moment you start to roll to the left, you can feel a deeper opening to the front hip flexor here. And once you start to feel ready, let's go ahead and come down into sleeping pigeon on our forearms. Close your eyes. Take your time. So of all the poses we've done today, you will be here the longest. So just bask in the moment. At this time, the longer we extend the period of this posture, the more your body might speak back. So instead of staying in a moment of stillness, I'm going to show a couple variations I like to do in single pigeon while I'm still opening my hips. So right now, we're typically on our hands or down on our forearms, right? Start to play around in your single pigeon. Maybe start to walk your hands over to the right. Maybe walk the forearms over to the right. You're going to feel this body of twist coming into your low back as you're doing this. Still very effective in opening your hips. You're just adding into an upper body twist while you're here. The last couple deep breaths that we do have here, let's explore the other side. Walk your hands or forearms all the way to the left. Stay on your hands or come down onto the forearms. Quietly observe how this movement in the upper body changes the deepening of your hip space. Okay. Go ahead and return back to a place of center. If you're like me, my hips are crying out for help. So we're going to softly release. So the way I like to release out of this is I'm going to just lean my entire body weight over to the right. Let my left knee bend because I'm going to pick up my left leg and I'm going to cross my left leg over my right leg. So take your time. You want that right heel to come close to your left glute. Your left foot is coming over that right. Now, coming into a twist, you're going to wrap that right hand around your left knee. Place the left hand to the back of your mat and just softly twist through the belly. Look over to the left. Option one, you can stay here, or you can bring that right elbow to the outer left thigh. This will give you a little more momentum to twist deeper through your mid back. 3, 3, 2, 1, and return back to center. Counter twist. Bring the left arm to your inner left leg, right hand behind your back, and we're going to come into that open twist to the right. Go ahead and return back to center. You're going to pick up the left leg, swing it all the way back, just enough so when you place your hands underneath your shoulders, you're going to lift the hips and go ahead and just come back for down dog for a couple petals. Stretch your heels down. And let's move on to the last side. Our left leg comes all the way back. We're going to bring that left knee behind your left shin and left knee behind your left hand. And notice how my left was close to my right hip. I'm going to move that a little over to the right, slide my right leg back. And just take your time here. You can start to make any adjustments, whether it be just move hip to hip, feel out the space that you're in, adjust the left footing forward. And if you choose to bring that left foot forward, it might help to flex the left foot to protect that left knee joint. And whenever you're ready, at your own pace, come down onto your hands, come down onto your forearms. Begin to close your eyes. You have a monkey mind tonight. Thoughts are rolling in and out of your headspace. Find a little guidance in your breath. We can train our mind and the thoughts and the pace of it by focusing on one point, one thought, or one breath at a time. So take a moment here. Focus on one thing. Energize all your Just energize everything, your thoughts, your breath, your focus, just on that one element. Keep your mind focused on the sound of your breath, keen thought in your mind, or whatever you're focusing on. Don't lose that. Just let the upper body move for you. Walk your hands or your forearms over to the left side. Return back to your focal point. Recenter your thoughts. Ground into your mind. And just step by step, start to guide over to the right side. Sensations of your body will change as you're making modifications. So remain vigilant in your thoughts and your focus of your mind. Your eyes closed. Walk your hands up. Come back to the center where the hands set or at shoulder width. Rock out the hips if you need to. Relax that back leg. Open your eyes. Shift your body weight to the left side. Bend into the right knee so you can swing that right leg forward, taking that right foot over that left knee. Taking a moment here, we're just adjusting our sitting bones. Left heel close to the right glute. Adjusting your right foot over to the left. Let's go ahead and come into our spinal twist. Left arm around your right leg, right hand behind your back. If you like to take the left elbow to your outer right thigh, just start to push the outer left elbow or left arm in towards the right leg. Breathe into the belly. And then go ahead and just release back to center. Float the arms over to the left, carrying your right arm to the inner right thigh. Left hand behind your back, open twist. Then gently return back to center. At this point, we're back in a seated pose. So we're just going to relax the right leg forward, relax the left leg. Take the arms back and just take a moment to windshield wipe the knees out. And once you're ready, we're going to meet into a seated pose. So crossing your knees, crossing your feet. If you'd like to move that blanket underneath your sitting bones like I am, for more support today, you can. Let's go ahead and just take some time to meditate and move into the body. So by this, I mean, we're going to take it into slow movements that you're inspired by your own breath. Not guided by me, but only guided by your own body. So go ahead and close your eyes. Relax the hands on your knees. For the first few moments here, I want you to listen. Listen to the sound and the melody of your breath. As you listen to the quality of the body, the rhythm of your breath, let the tempo be your inspiration in tonight's meditation. Unlike our typical meditation in silence and stillness, tonight I invite you to move to the body, to move within your breath, and without a thought, without a place of judgment of how you look or move, let the body tell you how to move. So take a moment here. Relax the shoulders. Relax your arms. Relax your hands away from your knees to the sides of your mat. Body deeply relaxed. Softly rounding the spine to loosen up tension in the upper low back. Head just heavily drapes down where the chin meets your chest. As you breathe in, feel gravity pulling you in one direction and gravitate your body towards that flow. So it could be breathe in, flow the heart space forward. And when you breathe out, you're softly retracting your body back into a rounded back space. The lower body doesn't move, arms are just heavy to the touch of gravity. And when you're breathing in, you can feel your upper body just roll to one side. And then exhale, it rolls back to one other side. Draw your breath in. Let the upper body Just flow forward to the side, letting your breath guide the movement, almost as if your breath has its own center of gravity. Breathe in, it carries you forward or back. Breathe out, you soften and surrender. One of the most beautiful things about surrendering movement to your breath in a mindful manner is allowing yourself to close your eyes, to tap into your inner intuition without letting your thoughts be your guide. Let feeling, let your intuition and inner self take over. Continue to surrender thoughts of your mind. Relax your body to the rhythm of your breath. Inspire movement to the melody of your breath work. Let your body move freely. Allow your arms to come inwards, resting your hands towards your legs. At this time, imagine the core of your body is like a tree. Extensions of your head space, your neck, your arms resemble branches of a willow tree. Leaves just swaying left and right. Your legs are deeply rooted, grounding your energy. As your upper body continues to move to your breath, your arms begin to sway to the rhythm up through the skies, forward and out. Carrying your hands close to your chest, extending it upwards and outwards. Gracefully moving to your own breath. Finding moments where the fingertips just glide through the mat around you. Where the fingertips glide up through the skies feeling the vibrations of the air around you. Without resistance, your body flows. Without control, you move without thought. Without any influence of the outside world, you channel your inner self and your inner energy, cultivating levels of vibrations, floating into your body, mindful movement, guided by your breath. Now this movement softly turns down a level. The vibrations in the dynamic range of your body slows down. Your body sways left and right. Your elbows close towards your belly, just arms and hands swaying to the rhythm of your body. Allow the movement of your body to be soft, gentle, moving within the space of your physical body. Your hands softly moving, twirling your wrist and hand space within your arms, guided not by the words I say, but how your inner self interprets what's said, without too much thought, without too much attachment. Simply move in a small inner circle within your own body. Feeling touches of your fingertips gliding through the mat before you, up through your arms, around your shoulders, your chest, your heart space. The soft touch of your fingertips glide down through your belly, resting onto your thighs, sliding them towards your knees, back down through your shins, moving and caressing your physical form, embracing the vehicle of your body you live in. Wherever your hands move to, glide to. Feel the vibrations through the fingertips. Moving your way closer to your heart space, where your hands, palms rest on your heart, body back in a state of stillness. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Bow your head. Take 3 deep breaths. Too often are we guided by what we see, not enough by what we don't see. Too often are we guided by our thoughts, not enough by our inner self, our intuition, our gut. When we come back onto this mat, we're reminded there's such a beautiful space within us, such a powerful, soothing energy deep down beyond the layers of our heart space. An observer, our inner light, untainted by the outer world, by our outer thoughts, by the influence beyond our inner self. But when the world spins beyond stillness, remember to take times, come back in stillness and silence. Be quiet, be still. So you create the space where your heart and mind, the deepest layers of yourself, to be heard. Bring your hands into prayer, bow your head. We honor our inner light within our own selves today. With one word, we open your eyes, lift your head. Namaste. I hope that was a much needed practice to just unwind, to reground, and get back in touch with our true self. So I'm going to take some time to open up the platform. If there's anything you'd like to share, this is a sacred space. And if you need to hop off, thank you so much for joining me. And I will see you later this week. Namaste.